just shut this up when it starts. There's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. I think there's a delay. It's really weird actually, because you start talking there and my computer don't start playing back to me until a minute or two in. So here we are again. It's gone dull. We've put the crown away. We've put the crown away after last week's excitement and all the party stuff. So I just kind of assumed that people would leave the bunting up and, you know, kind of keep with that summertime vibe. And there's loads of taking it down already. I don't know. Excuse me while I just cough. Should have done that before we started, shouldn't I? So it's rather warm in the office here. Let me just dive around the back of the back map for the thermometer. Oh, somebody's, no, they've not. I thought somebody had nicked my thermometer. But they've not. It's here. Oh, goodness me. It's 26 in here. So even though it looks dull outside, it's still warm. In fact, it was beautiful this morning. It was absolutely beautiful. I was up and organised bright and early, so I went for a little walk. And when I say little, I mean a very short one, because I was puffing just about by the time I got to the top of our drive. So I need to get some exercise and get some strength built up in those cardiac muscles. So we've got a busy-ish agenda for today. Got various different things to talk about and look at. So before we start, don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed. I know all you lovely people have that are watching it live, but if you're watching it on replay, make sure that you've subscribed. Make sure that you've hit that little bell that goes ting ting, that one, and then you'll get notifications when we go live and do new uploads and one thing and another. Cough's a lot better, Adam. Just got a bit of a tickle. Thank you. And don't forget to sign up to our, that'll be the bell. Don't forget to sign up to our email newsletter either. Goes out every week, twice a week now, in fact. You get a midweek one that's got all kinds of interesting information in it, and then a weekend one that's got all the stuff in it for your weekend events. So, and don't forget as well to join our Brewetto Facebook group. I've left that on the wall. It's called Brewetto Chat.
Sorry, I've just got somebody on the other phone.
So you need to join that. You need to join that, because that's where we do all our. No, it's not the shopping, June. It's not the shopping. The shopping's already here. That's where we do all our stuff. Crispy's just asking about lighthouses. Yes, Crispy. I'll show you those later. Let me write that down, because by the time I finish my sentence, I'll have forgotten. Last, Johnny says we are visiting Blackpool this Friday. From John in Essex. Wow. Yeah, Facebook, Brewetto Chat. So that's kind of silly photos, updates, questions, all that kind of thing. So if you come to Brewetto on a Tuesday afternoon, you need to join that. Why are we called bats? Why have I got a bat hung up there? I've just had a notification to say that Visit FYLDE Coast is live. Well, you wouldn't believe that, would you? We are bats because Brewetto spells bats, and let's face it, we are all bats. We are all batty. If you want your own Brewetto cup, they are available online, and the link is in the description underneath the video. All made to order, and at that point when you've got your cup, you will end up on the bat map. No bats this week, no new bats, I'm afraid. Just us. Oh, that's a nice cup of tea.
You made it.
Yes, T-Boy is telling me that he made the tea. That's because he's called T-Boy. Come along, T-Boy. Say hello.
Afternoon, everybody.
Say hello to people.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I do exist.
Hello, T-Boy.
Yes.
He's very quiet in the corner. There's another one over there.
It's not very quiet.
Oh, dear me. Have I had a week with him? Have I had a week with him? I ought to be writing it all down because I've forgotten half of it. But let's just say he wears it well, the dunce's cap. The dunce's cap, he wears it well. Yesterday, I sent him to the post office with a parcel for Stephen.
10 minutes later.
5 minutes, weren't 10. 5 minutes later, here's this little voice. I'd sort of sat down all quiet. Ah, that's lovely. The silence was deafening. Tapping away I was, and all at once I heard this little voice from downstairs. Where's the business card, Jane? I said, it's in my purse, Kevin, unless you've lost it.
And then he'd left his phone.
T-Boy shouts, he's not got his phone either. So I'd gone to the post office. I says, what did they say to you in the post office? He says, oh, well, I didn't actually get into the shop. What a shame. They could have taken mickey out of him as well. So it got to the post office, realised he hadn't got his phone, hadn't got his card to pay. So he had to come all the way back and repeat the exercise. Christine's got a good idea, Kevin.
Yes.
She says, do you pin his name and address on him when he goes out? When he was a little boy, he used to go to school with the house key hung on a piece of string round his neck.
So my first thought was, I got to the post office and I thought, I've not got my phone. Oh, stupid. I thought I'll ring Jane.
Kinda says it all, doesn't it? And then his second thought was, she's gonna really take mickey out of me. And what do you know? That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. Now then, I'll show you what Crispy was asking about. Lighthouses. So I've had my this is like, can you remember in the olden days when people used to do basket weaving, when they'd had nervous breakdowns, and they used to have them doing basket weaving and all kinds of sort of soothing things to calm them down and get them down off an eye. Well, this is a bit like basket weaving for me. Oh, that sounds nice. Lindsay's making butter chicken curry and mustard mash for dinner. That sounds lovely. We'll all be round. We'll all be round, Lindsay. What time are you serving it? So Stephen is first up, and I know some others of you said that you were interested in these. These are my latest makes. These I've been making lighthouses, so that's one of them. We've got a little seagull, look, and I've made them with my own fair hands. Lighthouse, all handmade by me with my Dremel. So I've been a busy little poppet. So there, if you're interested, I know some of you said that you were interested in new makes. So if you're interested in one of these, they're on our Seaside Emporium website. And the link for that is also underneath as well. So this is driftwood, genuine driftwood collected off Cleveland's Beach, which is actually where I've been this morning. Came back with my little plastic bag, full to the top. Oh, there's even a little bit spare there. I don't think that's off one of them. Came back with my plastic bag this morning, full to the top. So I've got a bag to scrub. I'll set my scrubber on, scrubbing it for me. Wonder what that might be. So yeah, so this morning I was on the beach, as I said, bright and early at what time was it? Like quarter to eight I went out. And it was absolutely gorgeous, bright sunshine, not like this. So I keep an old plastic bag in my pocket, just for the occasion. So off I went. And as I said to Kevin, I picked up some post boxes, and he looked at me like, souse. I'd just like to say that I shall be making some post boxes about that big, and you need a particular specification of twig to make a post box. I know that because I made a lot of them last year. So if you're wondering where I am, I'll be the one with the Dremel. It'll not be Eric today, it'll be me with the Dremel. So, there was a question for you last week, wasn't there? It was something to do with rubber sole shoes, and it was trainers, the answer. So I'm going to give you a question, and I promise I've actually written it on my list here. Look, answer the question under any other business. So I've got a question for you for today. This is a conundrum, this. In terms of personal use for eating, which was invented first? Chopsticks, forks, or spoons? There you go. That's today's question. So you'll have a think about that and see if you can work that one out. We'll come back to that at the end. I will endeavour not to forget. Remind me if I do. Remind me if I'm showing any signs of disappearing and I've not told you. So that's today's question. So anyway, I do have a little bit of good news. Christine, the question was, what was invented first? Forks, spoons, or chopsticks? And we'll come to, in fact, I tell you what, let's put a poll on. Oh, you can only, it's on, oh, hold on. Forks. Ooh, that's not how you spell forks, there's no I in it. Forks, spoons. Just talk among yourselves a second. Chopsticks, that's not how you spell chopsticks either. Right, there you go. We can have a poll on it while we're We don't need to put answers on a postcard today, Crispy. We're going to have a poll on it. So we'll do a vote, and by the end of it, I'll give you the answer, and then we'll all be enlightened, won't we? So anyway, I was just going to tell you about my good news. I think we need T-Boy in training to come back for this one, because it's a little bit of good news and a little bit of blackmail. You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I don't. I never know what you're going to say.
I'd just like to say...
It's always a nice surprise, though.
I'd just like to say that if you remember, it was our 30th wedding anniversary some weeks ago.
When?
23rd of May it was, wasn't it, dear?
Happy anniversary.
Anyway, you might remember me saying that there was only one thing I wanted. Is that Homer? One thing I wanted for my anniversary, and that was a piece of work. Was it me? Yes, dear. A piece of work doing on our Visit FYLDE Coast websites, because they came way before YouTube. And you keep, it's a bit like a marriage, a website, isn't it, Kevin? Come back.
Am I bad?
All right. It's a bit like a marriage, a website. You've got to keep working at it.
Do you?
So I said I wanted a piece of work doing on the websites for our 30th wedding anniversary, and that was the only thing I wanted, and that would make me incredibly happy.
She's easily pleased.
I'm easily pleased. Well, I'd like to give Kevin...
Oh, we're clapping.
Oh. I'd like to give Kevin a round of applause, because we've pretty much nailed some of it.
Yeah. Good lad, me.
This is where the emotional blackmail comes in, because we've done the first...
Can you remember that programme when you used to go, good lad, me?
Says it, I couldn't agree with you more. She says a husband is like looking after another child.
Is it? I won't know.
So before he leaves and shuffles off back to his corner...
His mortal coil.
Yeah. I'd like to say that it would be very nice if we could complete the anniversary present and do the rest of the websites, because he started actually on the Visit FYLDE Coast one, but he's got the others to do as well.
Could do one a year, couldn't we?
No, you could do one a day.
Nice try.
Nice try. Oh well. I thought if I brought him round here and sort of, you know, made it a public.
Thing is, you've got a gang of supporters.
I've got a gang to back me up.
No. I feel under pressure now.
That's the idea. That's the idea. If I said core vitals, would anybody understand what I'm talking about? Crispy might. But let's just say it's been the bane of our life. It's a bit like that marriage, it needs a lot of looking after. Crispy wants to know if we're going to the air show. Well, I think we'll probably decide that about an hour before we walk out the door, Crispy, because that's how we usually make our decisions at Rabbit Towers. We usually go, shall we do this? Yes, right, come on, coats on, off. Is it to be with the Beverly Hillbillies? Us? I'm not quite sure what the connection is there, Christine. So that's my little bit of more or less kind of exciting news, but not quite. So anyway, on to Chrissy. Well, Chrissy's still not well. You might remember last week we began our party with a little update before we started sort of being really silly and wearing party hats and all that kind of thing. I'll not wear it today because it's, oh, that's back to front, because it's going to fall off and it's not very comfy actually. Yeah, so last Monday, Tuesday she'd been vomiting, and we thought it might have been a bug, so we left her for a day or two and, you know, just threw a carrot in and didn't, you know, popped in every now and again. No, we waited for a day or two to see whether or not she would spontaneously feel better, and she didn't really. So we've come to the conclusion that it's some kind of strange, dizzy, eerie, stomachache, travel sicky, neck, arthritis, osteoporosis collective thing that's sort of knocked her off kilter. Anyway, she's starting to feel better. She's managed to get to the living room, which is a big improvement. She's now managing to eat a little bit more than she was this time last week. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we shall be back to vlogging very soon. Just need to get her a little bit less like that because she's a bit sort of. So that's my mother. But I have to say the standard of nursing care in this home is exemplary. Exemplary. I am known as the domestic. That's what she shouts. She shouts, domestic!
Yeah, and then we all run.
Domestic!
One thing to one another at the door.
So yes, let's put it this way. I'd like to go in a home like this one when I'm in my dotage. So if anybody is watching this that's younger than I am, that would like to volunteer for the job of being my personal carer in another 30 years, apply to jane@therabbitpatch.co.uk. I'll say somebody younger than me because I think if you were my age, you'd yeah, we had corned beef hash one day and I don't think she managed any. Or was that before she was poorly? That might have been before she was poorly. It all blends into one. One day just turns into another. So anyway, I had a little bit of excitement. I'm toilet trained currently, June. But whether I'll be toilet trained in another 30 years, that's the question. So it might need It might need somebody with a strong stomach and an ability to wear rubber gloves.
Might need Brewetto in 3
To wear
parts.
rubber gloves. There you go, you see. Liz works in a nursing home, so she knows exactly what I do. Well, there you go, Liz. I take my hat off to you. I take my hat off to you. You're doing a sterling job, and it's people like you. Don't ever forget, it's people like you that make the world go round. I'm not going to get on my hobby horse about the way that old people are treated, but oh, I could write a book. I could write a book. By society, not by you, obviously. Yes, June. And I can provide, if anybody wants to apply to be my carer in another 30 years, I can give you a copy. In fact, I'll give you this copy of the Bristol stool chart. And then you can keep a good eye on me. You can keep a good eye on me. We can have a right good laugh. We can have a right good laugh about what comes out the other end. So anyway, moving on. We're going to come back to toilets in a moment, Joan, because I've got my little book out. My little book of toilet jokes. I've not got as much toilet talk for today, I'm afraid. I think we'll manage to muster some up for next week. Yeah, so I've got a little bit of good news. This is, in fact, it's a very big bit of good news in my world. Ta-da! Can you remember some weeks ago I showed you, in fact, it's still on my desk, look. I showed you my little fossilised frog that I found on the back path. And this was the only one I'd seen in the garden out of my pond full of frog spawn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have something to tell you. At the weekend, I was in the garden and I was just doing a little bit of weeding round the edge of my little tiny pond. When I say little, it literally is about that big. I bet it's no bigger than that.
I wondered what had burnt grass.
Eh?
See, I wondered what had burnt grass.
Weeding, not
Awesome.
weeing. By about that wide. So it is literally tiny. Not literally tiny. So I was on my haunches. Or was I sat on my stool? I think I was sat on my little stool. Not that you needed to know that. And I was weeding around the edge of my pond and pulling some grass up and thinking, I'm going to have to get Kevin to do a little bit of digging around here because the lawn's gone into the pot plants. And all at once I heard a plop and a flappy noise. And it was a frog. So I just stopped everything. And I just sat there on my little plastic garden stool. And I just sat there and I just watched and watched and watched. And within a minute or two, there wasn't one frog. There were two. So I was really, really pleased. Now, when I came running in to tell me Mum, you never guess what I've just seen. I've just seen two frogs in my pond. She said, oh, let's hope that they're a boy and a girl then. And up to that point, it had not even occurred to me. I just thought, I've got two frogs, that's it. I'm set. I've got babies. Never even registered to me that I needed a little boy and a little girl frog. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that we're going to have some froggy business. Some froggy business in the pond. And then there was another little bit of good news as well from the nursery, which is how we fondly call our back garden. Oh, two good bits of good news. Number one, oh, does she not like frogs, Stephen? Stephen says that if his wife sees a frog in the garden, he'll need the Bristol stool chart. Oh, send to me, yeah. Put them in an envelope and send them to me. I'll have your frogs.
Cruel.
I'll have your frogs.
First class.
Yeah. If you live locally and you've got any in your back
Make
garden,
them in
just
bubble
turn
wrap.
up. Just bring them here. Just bring them
Make
here.
bubble wrap, yeah. Make sure they're high on journey.
Yeah, T-Boy in training says wrap them in bubble wrap and then they'll not die on the journey. Don't. That's a joke. Please no. Do not send any frogs through the post. So, you might remember that I told you that we've got a blackbird nesting literally feet outside our back window. And She's had her second brood of babies, and she's fledged them today. So I was all excited this morning when I went outside, and you could hear them sort of like crashing through the bushes because they've got no idea how to fly, and not really very many feathers. So there you go. And good news number 3 from the nursery. Homer, the seagull, has got babies. Oh, I feel... Yeah, I'll have a squirrel, Mark. Yeah, you send that here. I was so pleased. He's a daddy. So the nest is, if you can imagine going out that window and left, is on the chimney on the semi at the back of here. We know which one it is because there's a black plastic bag stuck in it, and it sort of flaps in the wind. So
Is that a breach of GDPR?
wife number 2 has been sat. No, there's plenty of chimney pots with black sacks on them. Wife number 2 has been sat on the nest for some weeks now, and we kind of were like that, wondering whether or not we'd have been successful, because he's got to be getting old, Homer. And then yesterday, no, it's definitely Homer. You can tell the female when you've got a female and a male at the side of one another. The male is distinctively bigger and
Manly.
more muscular, and the female looks slender and petite and pretty. So yesterday, when he'd gone flying off to his nest with his mouth full of food, we saw some little bodies. And I've been watching them this morning. So I'm all excited. So all I need to do now is to make sure that he keeps them on the chimney pot, feeds them, and manages to get them off fledged, and they don't end up falling off the chimney pot onto the roof. Because if he does that, if they do that, that'll be it. So that's that. That's my excitement. That's the height of my excitement for this week. Other people were excited because, oh goodness me, Eric says put the GoPro on the nest. Goodness me, how on earth do I get up there? You're gonna hold my feet and lift me.
That's a good action shot of it falling off.
Other people were busy watching the Jubilee and all that kind of stuff, and going to parties. And my excitement is baby seagulls. So this is what we're going to get to remember the Jubilee by. This has been sent to me by special request from Christine. I've been told to order a Queen Elizabeth II rose. It's very pretty, isn't it? Very pretty. Oh, that was just at the side of me on my desk. I just thought about it as we got to Jubilees. On the subject of Jubilees and the Queen and whatnot, you might know that I think it's the 2nd of June that the awards are announced for MBEs and OBEs and all that kind of stuff. And I'd like to give a big round of applause to 2 local winners of the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. Now, a Queen's Award is the equivalent of an MBE, but it's for a group of people rather than one single person. So there are 2 groups that have got one of these in this last round. One was the Friends of Stanley Park, which is very well deserved. And I'd just like to add that Ms. Elaine Smith, bat extraordinaire and holder, soon to be holder, of the Blackpool medal, was for an eternity the chair of Friends of Stanley Park. So I am sure that Elaine's work has definitely helped to get that for that group. So very well done to all of you. And the other one is a little bit closer to home. It's for Healthier Fleetwood, which is a sort of a conglomeration of community groups, health providers, etc., different agencies all working together to encourage people to do things that make your health better. So very well deserved, because they've done loads of stuff, absolutely loads of stuff. So I know all about Queens Award for Voluntary Service, because yes, the Russell Beach group also have a Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. My badge is on my high vis. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. And we got one in 2014. We were only the third group in Wyre, in the borough of Wyre, to get a Queen's Award for Voluntary Service. So we were very pleased with that. And they don't hand them out like got to be assessed, and they assessed us and discovered that we were worthy of an award, so which was very good. Yes, so there you go, John. We were on it. You wouldn't have seen us on it at the time because well, that's another story. I'll tell you when I see you. I can feel Brenda thinking, go on, Jane, tell him. In fact, if I just go rummaging at the back of here, because the spare badges are at the back of here.
I got some badges.
You've got some badges? We don't want to know about your badges. Here you go, look. I'll show you. These are what you get. These are what you get. You have to buy these. So we bought these for our volunteers, and all the regulars have already got one. So you can wear one of these. And we've got the trophy and everything. We went to County Hall and we were presented with it. And it was a lovely day, apart from the fact that the mayor didn't have a clue we were. And as for the council, well,
They didn't know.
yeah, they didn't know we were. We'll leave it at that, shall we, Brenda? We'll leave it at that. Anybody who wants clarification, please email jane@therabbitpatch.co.uk. Oh, I'm getting warm. So yes, but very well done to both Friends of Stanley Park and Healthier Fleetwood. It's important that people that do good stuff are recognised. That's how I say. Like Lee, she's looking after people. Right, so now then, I've got a joke for you that I saw on Facebook the other day. I thought it was so funny. I was just flicking through because I'd got a headache. I've had a nasty headache. Being sat nursing me Polly. And I was sat flicking through Facebook trying to make it worse. And I stumbled across this joke and I thought, that is perfect. Are you ready? Bye, Kevin. Oh, goodness me, I've gone boiling. That's because the sun's come out. See if the temperature's gone up. Yeah, it has. It's gone up. It's 30 now. 30! There's no wonder I'm warm. So Mark says squirrels are difficult. He took his to the zoo last week and that didn't work, so he's taking it to the pictures today instead. Boom, boom. Right, are you ready? Are you sitting comfortably? I shall read my joke out to you. See if you'll think it's funny. I can't believe what I saw in McDonald's today. An old man ordered one burger, fries and a drink. He unwrapped the burger and carefully cut it in half, placing one half in front of his wife. He then carefully counted out the French fries, dividing them into 2 piles, placing 1 pile in front of his wife. He took a sip of the drink. I'll have a sip of my drink. He took a sip of the drink, his wife took a sip, and then they put the cup in between them. Cheers. As he began to eat his few bites of the burger, the people around them were looking and whispering. Obviously thinking that poor old couple, all they can afford is 1 meal between them. A young lad came to the table and politely offered to buy another meal for the couple. The old bloke said, "We're just fine, we're just used to sharing everything." People closer to the table noticed that the little old lady hadn't eaten a bite. Oh. She sat there watching her husband eat and occasionally taking turns sipping the drink. Again, the young lad came over and begged them to let him buy another meal for them. This time the lady said, "No, thank you, love. We're used to sharing everything." Finally, as the old fellow finished wiping his face neatly with the napkin, the young lad went over again, to the little old lady who still had yet to eat a single bite of food, and he said to her, "What is it that you're waiting for?" And she answered, "The teeth." I thought it was really funny that. Share everything, the teeth. Yeah, did you get that? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. In fact, I've got a pair of teeth in here, haven't I? Yeah, I've even got a pair of teeth. A pair of dusty teeth. I'm short of nothing I've got. I should have had them wound up, shouldn't I? What are you waiting for? The teeth! Hey, we're easy to please, aren't we? Right, what shall we do next? Shall we do the joke book or the toilet jokes? We'll do toilet jokes, shall we, for June. I'll take them off as I'm doing them because we don't want to repeat anything, do we? That would be terrible. Are you ready? Are you ready, Kevin? We're on to toilet jokes.
Oh, we like a toilet joke. I'm coming.
Blackbeard the pirate always puts on a red shirt whenever it looks like a skirmish with a rival crew is about to start. Don't go reading this over my shoulder.
Oh, sorry.
One day, while patrolling the deck, his cabin boy asks him the reason for his ritual.
Sorry, I missed first bit. Because I weren't reading
God,
it.
Kevin.
Start again. Blackbeard.
Blackbeard the pirate always puts on a red shirt whenever it looks like a skirmish with a rival crew is about to start.
I remember that bit.
One day, while patrolling the deck, his cabin boy asks him the reason for this ritual. It's just in case I get shot, he explains. I don't want the crew to see the blood on me and worry. Just at that moment, a particular bloodthirsty crew boards the ship and slowly starts towards him with their sabres raised.
She's very good, isn't she?
Blackbeard starts nudging the cabin boy rather urgently. Can you fetch me my brown trousers, please?
Very good.
I've got another one here for you. Come
Very
back.
good.
Go back.
Come back.
I know, but you're not let me read it. I'm worried I'll get to punchline and not laugh. Because I'll not get
No,
it.
understand
'Cause I'll
it.
go. And there's all these people watching thinking,
That's the idea.
oh, that's it.
Oh, God, where did I find him?
Public humiliation.
That's it. That's it.
I can't even see them. Have they been rude?
No, they've been nice to say
A bit
hello to you.
nice. Hello.
Hello. A man goes into a public toilet for a poo.
That's a good place
He's
to go.
just sat and he hears a voice from the next cubicle say, "Hello, how are you?" He's embarrassed.
I
But
think I'd be off. I'd not be hanging about there, would you?
He's embarrassed but thinks he'd better reply out of courtesy. "I'm fine, thanks." Then the voice asks, "So what are you up to?" "Well, just doing the same as you. Sitting here, obviously." Then the voice asks, "Can I come over?" "This is getting ridiculous," thinks the man. "Actually, I'm a little busy right now."
I think so.
The voice then says, "Hang on, I'm going to have to call you back. There's some weirdo next door who keeps answering all my questions."
You see, I'm going to have to read that one now. Because I didn't get it. Yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. Blackbeard the pirate. Oh, that's wrong one. It's the other one.
Oh, dear me. You'd laugh if you lived here, says. Believe me, you'd laugh.
Oh, I don't get it.
Oh, goodness me, Kevin. Obviously, the man in the other cubicle is on a mobile phone talking to somebody. And the man that's just sat down for a poo didn't know that, so he thought he was talking to him from the other cubicle. Still don't get it, does it?
I get it now, but
It's not funny.
it's a bit too late to laugh now, isn't it? Can we make me look good next week? And let me have a look at them beforehand.
reminded me of the block of toilets not that far away from here that were demolished for a slightly similar reason.
Yeah. You know too much about toilets.
You'll be surprised what I know about toilets.
It was the local meeting.
You remember
Yeah.
that fella that took you in to show you around tiles?
Yeah,
Oh, have you seen these lovely tiles in gents' toilets? She went in.
I did.
She followed him.
It was the leader of Blackpool Council.
I wasn't going to tell him that.
Well, it's gone now, so. Oh dear. Laugh. Laugh, I nearly paid my gas bill.
He says, come in here, there's a lot of history in here. She told me, I thought, I bet there is.
And like a little naive puppet, I just went and followed him. Oh dear. Yes, we found the level, Aldo. Oh dear me. I did know him. I did. Well, yeah. We'll leave that there, shall we? Oh, goodness me. Right. If I can gather my composure, I made my nose run. Kevin asked this question on Brew Chat. What question, Phil? Right, the sloth who wished to emigrate. Lovely John who writes poetry. Oh, you've just missed it, Nora. You've just missed the joke. And Kevin not getting it.
It's all right. If you missed the joke, you're not alone.
He usually misses the
Speaking
joke.
of toilets, did you tell them you went in blokes' lavs that time?
Where was that?
I don't know. You went in and then realised you were in gents.
Oh, yeah, that were at Region, weren't it? Thankfully, there weren't any other men in. I thought, oh, it is unusual having urinals in a multi-sex toilet. There's a reason for that. They weren't unisex. Oh, dear me. So, Lovely John, drum roll, has sent us a poem for this week. He sent us a poem. And it's called The Sloth Who Wished to Emigrate. I've seen my glasses up. Get my glasses all fucked up. See if I can dry him. And he wrote it after his sister bought his wife a soft toy hanging sloth from her holidays and named him Oscar. So this is a little bit of poetry. To try and get things back onto a slightly more grown up level. Right, so the sloth who wished to emigrate. I used to live in Germany and flown over land and sea to come and live in England, as that's where I'd like to be. I hear on good authority that you're helpful, kind and good, so I'd really like to stay with you. Do you think I could? I'd like to live in your house and keep you company. I could hang out in your office. That would be great for me. We could put him with the bats, couldn't we? I won't be any trouble. I'll keep out of your way. I'll sit quietly in the corner. If you say that I can stay. Shall I tell you something now? That's just what Kevin said. I'd like to live at your place. I'd like to live with you. But if that isn't possible, I'll join the others at the zoo. That's very good, that, John. Very good. Very good. Helpful, kind and good. Is that before the toilet jokes or after? I'll put that in the joke book pile. So I do have, now I've gathered my composure back together and stopped coughing more or less. I do have some other jokes bookmarked. See if your pants have dried out slightly, and we will have another giggle. Where are we? I've bookmarked some.
It's getting more like Brewetto with it.
Are you ready? This one is called Goodbye Daddy. A 5-year-old walks past his father's. A father walks past his 5-year-old son's bedroom and hears the little lad saying his prayers. God bless Mummy, says the boy. God bless Daddy. God bless Grandma. Goodbye, Grandad. The father thinks it's slightly odd but says nothing about it. The next morning, however, the family receives news that the boy's granddad has passed away in the night. Oh. Again that night, the father hears his son praying, God bless Mummy, God bless Daddy, goodbye Grandma. The next morning, the family learn that Grandma's passed away. The dad now thinks his son's clairvoyant abilities are distinctly spooky. And a few days later, he hears the boy praying, God bless Mummy, goodbye Daddy. His father is now terrified. He prepares his will, settles his affairs and spends the rest of the day in church, preparing for the worst. In the end, he returns home, only to find his wife looking very upset. What's the matter? He asks. A terrible thing happened, says his wife. Just after you went out this morning, I came downstairs and there was the milkman laying dead on the doorstep. I thought that was quite funny. All right, well, because the milkman's everybody's dad, isn't he? Apparently. Right. Kevin?
Oh.
Need you back.
Oh.
Scott says, I've only just joined. Can I ask you something? Do you know where I can get info about the ferry times at the weekend to Not End? Yes, Scott. Are you on Facebook? You need to go on the Fleetwood to Not End Ferry Facebook page. And all the times are posted on there each week. You will find everything you want to know on there. Somebody's going to get a scotch.
Yeah, I'll hold him.
Jokes about
me.
Just stand back a little bit further and then we can see your face without killing yourself.
I've got a smaller face than yours.
We know. That's because I've got more brains. Are you ready? Did you hear about the idiot who opened a paper shop?
I didn't.
It blew away. Did you hear about the idiot who was stranded on a desert island?
I can't remember that.
One day a lifeboat washed up on the shore, so he broke it up to make a raft.
That's what I'd do. I would do that.
That's why I fetched you over.
I definitely would do that. I'd take it apart to see how it worked.
Did you hear about the idiot park keeper whose boss told him to go and sweep up the leaves?
Yeah.
He fell out of a tree. Sweeping up the leaves in the tree. Did you hear about the idiot Sea Scout?
No.
He went camping and his tent sank.
Oh.
Did you hear about the idiot firing squad?
They burnt.
They stood in a circle. Did you hear about the idiot's parachute?
Are you going to manage to get to end of these?
Yeah, just one more.
Idiot's parachute.
Did you
no.
hear about the idiot's parachute?
It's here.
This is your parachute, this. It opens on impact.
I remember one from a long time ago with a parachute. Do you, Derek? So Irishman doing a parachute jump. He jumps out 10,000 feet. 10,000, enjoying himself, arms out. 5,000 feet. He says, "Pull your parachute." He says, "No, yeah, I'm enjoying myself." 1,000 feet. No, I says, "Hey, I'm having too much fun. I'm flying." No, I'm not going to pull my parachute yet. Gets to 500 feet. Pull your parachute. It's desperate. No. 10 feet from floor. He says I might as well jump rest it way.
Splat.
Yeah.
John says, when I die, I would like my grave to have free Wi-Fi so that people visit more often. It's very true, that, John. Very true. Right, so we don't have any new bats, and we don't have any...
Can I go now?
You can go now. We don't have any scams for this week, other than just be careful. Just because we haven't got any scams.
This reminds me of you. Sorry.
Just because we haven't got any scams, it doesn't mean there aren't any about. Just be careful and make sure that you don't fall for anything. Don't click any links or, you know, do anything like that. Don't click any links that I wouldn't click. Right, birthdays. Birthdays. Now then, people, I don't believe that we've only got 3 birthdays in June. I just don't believe it. Out of all the people that watch Brewetto, I've got Crispy, which was last Wednesday. And we gave Crispy a shout out, Crispy our mod, on Tuesday last week, and I think he'd nodded off because he didn't hear us. And then on Friday the 10th, it's Anne Allen's birthday from Burnley. So happy birthday for Friday, Anne. And then there's one at the end of the month. So I don't believe, out of all the people that watch, there are only 3 birthdays in June. I think you're kidding me. So you can either you can pop them in the comments to today's show, and I'll really make an effort to really write them all down, or you can put them in our Brewetto chat group, because that's what it's for. It's for all this kind of information. Or you can email me on jane@therabbitpatch.co.uk. So I think that's it. I think, get typing, anybody that wants a birthday. Get typing. Typey. We need to go back to our question, don't we? Table manners. We have a poll running currently. Table manners. In terms of personal use for eating, which was invented first? Chopsticks, forks, or spoons? That's the question. What do you think, Kevin? What? I'm not listening.
What do I summit? Not picking on me. What's the question?
In terms of personal use for eating, which was invented first? Chopsticks, forks, or spoons?
Spoon.
You'll say spoon?
I say spoon.
You'll say spoon? The tea boys say spoon.
Because I bet they got whittled.
The tea boys say spoon. Page 177 has it. Let's have a look. Page 177.
It's exciting, this, isn't
Isn't
it?
it?
Moment of
It was
suspense.
spoons. Very ancient versions have been found. Chopsticks and forks for personal use rather than as a cooking utensil have been used from around the 4th century AD. And there's the answer. There you go. And 43% of you said spoons. Let's see what everybody else said. End poll. Oh, it don't give you results. Oh, that's a swayze.
Probably one to look like a spoon.
43. Oh, hold on. Spoons 43%, chopsticks 40%, and forks 16%. And I know a lot of you had already put spoons in the comments. So spoons. So we'll see if we can find something equally weird for next week. Right, I think that's it. I think we are on to our finale. So without any more ado, I shall put my spectacles on. If I can find them. There's my spectacles. Right. Smiling is infectious. You'll catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. And when he smiled, I realised I passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realised its worth. A single smile, just like mine, could travel round the earth. So if you feel the smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic, quick, and get the world infected. Bye for now, everybody. See you next week.